Hey guys, back with you for another episode of this UK metal detecting adventure. It's day 7, and day 7, back onto silver in a big way. So a lot of interesting finds, but especially some cool silver finds from the medieval period. So stay tuned for this adventure. We're more than halfway through day 7. We're working our way to day 12. If you're enjoying this adventure, hit the like button, make a comment, subscribe. It helps feed the algorithms and helps other people discover the video the same way you have. So without further ado, enjoy this episode of Day 7 Metal Detecting in the fields around Norwich in the UK. Good morning. It's Day 7. I've had 2 shotgun shells so far, but I got a zoomer of a signal here, 91, 92. Beautiful signal, start the morning. A little bit gray, it rained overnight, but no rain is expected today. So should be a nice dry day. Field's pretty good, easy to walk in. Let's see, where'd my signal go? It's probably here. No. Okie dokie, we've lost the signal. So let me just, one more scoop here. Might be at the bottom of this hole. There we go. Here it is right there. It's a really great sounding signal. There it is. And we have our first coin of the day. First coin of the day. It's a bronze coin, copper coin. Looks like a Britannia on the back. Seated Britannia. I guess it's a George, one of the Georges looking left. We'll let it dry and get it identified later, but it's first coin of the day. Boy, it was a loud signal too. It was 91, 92. Silver range. Got excited for a moment, but at least it's a coin and not a shotgun shell or a button, which has been my usual pattern when I live dig. So I just had a signal here. It was a nice signal, rang up as a 77. Looks like a nice early Victoria halfpenny, I believe. To clean it up to confirm for sure, but I had another signal right here, an 80, solid 80. We're going to live dig that and just see what we have for a nice 80. Could be a little mini coin spill here. Let's see. It's just a piece of lead. And I think we have our first hammered silver of the day. Now, you might be saying that doesn't look like much of a silver, but it was in this hole here. It was a 44, 45, and it looks to me like it is a piece of one. Now, whether it can be identified or not, another story. Thankfully, I'm right by the van, so I'm going to take it right over to Steve, give it to him. Now, it's not exactly what we're looking for. I mean, we like to find whole coins, but again, this is 1,000 years old. This field has been plowed probably 1,000 times, but 1,000-year-old coin. Sometimes you take what you can get, but 1,000-year-old coin is 1,000-year-old coin, even if it's a fragment. And Steve just confirmed that it is indeed a hammered silver Henry II Tilby penny. So a more unusual hammered coin. So even though it's in very rough condition, it's recognizable and identifiable. And it turns out to be a rarer coin. So that's kind of sweet. First hour of the day and our first hammered silver. Hopefully we'll find a few more. The day is young. Well, we got something in this clump here. Gonna live dig it. Take a shot. Doesn't appear to be ancient or old. Piece of aluminum, very pliable. Modern trash. That's possible that we have a silver button here. Really pretty, and it's even got a silvery shank. Let's see if I can give this a little clean
here in the field just to try to confirm if this is indeed silver button. It certainly looks old enough. And yep, it's got a nice shank. Okay, let's see, give it a little brush. Looks oh, it's definitely handmade. That's a sweet button anyway. Probably one of the nicest buttons I found on this trip. I mean, it certainly has the feel of silver, very thin silver. Fortunately, there's a little crack there, but hey, not bad. Well, I just stepped onto a bit of a grassy area adjacent to the field and just pulled out a really cool livery button. It was down pretty deep. It has some silvering on it, as you can see. Trying to make out the motif. Could be some sort of a dragon with his head here. Need to clean it up a bit, but it's a big old button, and it was down there. It was down 8 inches, good 8 inches. Not as old as we'd like, but another interesting button for the day. Back on the grassy bit, had a little coin here. Looks like not a hammered, it's a copper. Hear a cat on the other side of the hedge. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. Definitely not hammered silver, but it is coin. Okay. Tell you what, this was down there. It was a very whispery 90, 91. Thought it could be a silver, but we've got George looking to the right. Georgian copper, Britannia on the back. Probably get a date off that. It's got some decent detail left. Yeah, a lot of work for Georgian copper. Now, if we were in the States, it'd be a different story. But here in Britain, looking for older. I had a deep hole here and just pulled out a big old crotal bell fragment. Got some nice fancy on it. And looks like we got some initials at the bottom. A W with a couple dots on either side. Big old crotal bell, too bad it's not complete. Was a big old signal. Had a nice 90 signal here. It's out of the hole, which is right there. Going in with the pinpointer, let's see if we can find it. It's over here, or not. Okay, it's in my hand. And there it is. We have a coin or a button or a shotgun shell. I think we have a greenie. It's a little worn. Gonna let it dry up. See what that is. Not much to it from what I can see, but it is a coin. Rang up as a 90. It wasn't very deep. On to the next. Well, it's been slow going today so far. Just walking up this hill towards the ridge here. Been getting some button signals here. Nothing really particularly old, but I did just get a signal here. I pulled out the dirt. It was a classic hammered coin signal. Pulled out the dirt, and I think we might actually have our second hammered of the day. So let's take a look together. It's over here. And we do, and it's a sweetie. Oh yeah, it's got a little crack in it, but it is a sweet looking coin. Looks like a short cross. Okay, I can't get much off of the front, but it's hammered. Steve will be able to identify that. Second for the day. Just pulled out a silver thimble. Beauty. A little crushed, but not bad. And we just scored our third hammered of the day. It's long for us. Haven't given it a wash yet. I'm just going to put it in the pouch for now. And just got a nice little artifact here. It's an old buckle mount, or buckle and backplate. Oh, it even has the tang there. It's an early one. It's probably 13th, 14th century. Very cool. Nice little artifact this afternoon. And look at that. If that doesn't look like a beautiful coin coming out of the ground here, nothing does. But it's just a big old tomback. Tomback button. But I will say, just a minute ago, my last dig was this beautiful, beautiful, looks like it's some sort of a leather mount. It could have some age to it. It could be very early. Looks like it's a little bit open work there. And got some really nice, now it's just missing a little nodule here to the right side. And there might even be some gilt there, hard to say. But what a sweet thing that is. Can't wait to have Steve take a look at that. And yeah, this area has been pretty productive for me today, I have to say. This morning was a little bit slow. I was protecting around the perimeter, but this here in the middle of the field, it's got some activity, some old medieval pipes, and I've had 3 hammers from this area, so I'm going to keep going. This was a really soft 80, 81. Went a little deeper. It was down about 7, 8 inches. It's here somewhere. Let's find it together. I'm not sure what we have. All right, here we go. Oh, here's something. What is that? It's right here in my hands. Probably looks like a big old button. Nice one. It's got a nice design on it. I thought it was an incised design, but I just see the little dimple there. But it was down there. Nice little, big old 1700s, 1800s button. It's a really interesting hammer. I haven't seen anything quite like this before. I wonder if it's so far in coin. But it's a hammered silver. So, take it in and get it identified. Well, I'm not sure what this is, but it's an eyes-only find. It looks like a very old buckle of some type, sort of oval-shaped, and it looks like the tang is intact. Really sweet piece. Nice patina. I don't know how old, but it's definitely a few hundred years. That'll be an interesting one to hear from Steve on that baby. Very cool find. And I just got a sweet little buckle fragment. Got some age to it, 14th, 15th century. Nice. Looks like it might have silver gilt at one time. Nice little buckle. Well, it's in the afternoon here on day 7. I should have live dug this massive cartwheel penny. I think it's the 2p cartwheel penny. Huge, huge coin. You can see the rim around it. These were made in 1797. Looks like Britannia on the back here. King George III. Whopping signal. I almost didn't dig it because I thought it was just too good to be true. And, well, now I know why. Big old cartwheel penny. The amazing thing is it's late afternoon and this part of the field has been really hammered by the guys. How this managed to go unfound is pretty amazing. And I think I just got my 5th and final hammered silver. So I'm walking back to the van. Let's see. is. Again, it's not a beautiful one, but it is one. Very worn, but it's identifiable. Number 5 for the day, right there.
And here's just a quick look at some of the finds from today. These are the unbagged finds. These are ones that are less important, but you've got a crotal bell there with a big W on the bottom, or crotal bell fragment, I should say. A couple of cattle tags, some lead stoppers, spindle whorl. I picked up a number of these clay pipes. Now, these were used from the sort of 15th century through the 17th, 18th century. The field was littered with them, so we know that we're going back in time to late medieval period and later. Nice piece of little decorated pottery here. A couple of buckles, interesting buckles, including this one, which should date to the 14th or 15th century. Really nice silver button with the tang intact, the shank intact. That is a pure sterling silver button. A couple of greenies, what we call greenies. These are George II, George III, half pennies, farthings, pennies, and then a few other coins that are more recognizable. This is a cartwheel penny. You see Britannia on the back. It's, George II, I believe, looking to the left, and a young Victoria penny, or half penny. A couple of little doodads here, including this button, which has some nice gilt on it. You can maybe see it here in the lights. Big old dandy button with gold gilt. Another button here, which is kind of interesting. This is a button with a stag and arrow going through the stag. Hard to see, but the arrow is here going through the stag, which is there. And button bonanza. I mean, buttons of all shapes and sizes. Large buttons, small buttons, lead buttons, copper buttons, you name it. Lots of buttons today. So a pretty bountiful day in terms of finds on day 7. And let's look at some of the more significant finds next. First, we have this really nice early cap badge. It's bronze, and on the reverse you can see the pin that would have held it in place. I'm not sure of the date on that, probably 1800s, maybe earlier. Got a 17th century trade token here. I know it's hard to see with the lighting, but you can see it folded over, and there's some detail on this side here to identify it as a trade token. We also have a Henry II Tealby penny. These are quite rare. This one dates to 1154 to 1180. The most important piece of the fragment is the cross right there, which identifies it as a Tealby. These Henry II's were not well struck and not produced in huge quantities, so it's quite a treat to find one of those. Next, we have a Henry III voided long cross half-cut penny. So you can see the penny's been cut in half. Sometimes it would also be cut in quarters. The cutting follows the cross, the large cross on the back of the coin. This is dates to 1247 to 1272. Next, we have an Elizabeth I half-groat fragment from 1558 to 1603. Again, the fragment is not in terrific shape, but there's enough detail on here to identify it as a hammered silver coin dating from the time of Elizabeth I. And finally, not finally, but we also have a Charles I half-groat from 1625 to 1649. Actually got a Charles I yesterday. It was a Charles I penny, but here you can see some of the details on the half-groat. Shields on the back.
And on the front of the coin, there would have been the head of Charles here and an inscription surrounding it. So again, enough detail to identify it. And that is hammered silver number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the day. The final hammered silver is this Venetian Soldino. Probably the most interesting coin of the day from a details perspective. Here on the front of the coin, or the back of the coin I should say, you will see the Doge on the right kneeling before St. Mark on the left, a staff in between them, and inscription on either side. On this side of the coin, we have a standing figure of Christ holding a cross. So this coin would have been hammered in Venice around 1500, 1501 to 1518. And a lot was going on in Venice at the time, but these were hammered silvers that were traveled throughout Europe. And this one ended up in a field in Norfolk. Great detail, nice looking coin. 5 hammered silvers on the day, plus a few other bits and bobs. And everything you saw earlier, all the buttons, etc. So a really good day, hard day working in the field. It was a long day, a lot of signals, but it was all worthwhile.
Well, that was day 7. Stay tuned for another episode in day 8. Find some more interesting pieces of history from Roman to medieval to modern and everything in between. Again, please like or subscribe to this video. We'll see you next time for day 8 in the UK. In the meantime, may all your metal detecting adventures be fantastic. And may all your tones be high tones. I'll see you next time.